Wayne's Word, Episode 13.
Hi, this is Carter Ulery. Welcome to Wayne's Word, a show designed with you in mind, sharing motivation, inspiration, and transformation. Now here's your host, my dad, Wayne Ulery.
Thank you, Carter. Thanks. Hello, friends. How are you? It is Friday. The weekend is here. I hope that you had a wonderful week. Ready to get this Friday episode underway. So listen, I want to give a quick shout out real quick to my good friend, Gary Cuda. And Gary's been a friend of mine for a little while now. And I just want to say thanks, Gary, because you know what? You've really given me a lot of good pointers and a lot of help on the show. I love your honesty, and I think you've really been helping out with the production of the show and how things are sounding and whatnot. So special shout out to Gary Cuda. Thank you, my friend. All right, listen, moving right along. Here's what we got going on. If you are listening via the web, so that would be Spreaker.com or one of the websites that I have the player on, there is another way that would be easier for you to listen, and that is via podcast right on your smartphone. So if you have an iPhone or an Android, all you have to do is go into the podcast app on the iPhone. It's called Podcast, and then for the Droid, there's several options that you can get. Once you get that app installed, all you have to do is do a search for Wayne's Word. Once you do the search for Wayne's Word, I'll come up, and then you just need to subscribe, and you'll get the daily podcasts right on your phone. It's awesome, awesome technology. Now, listen, if you'd also like to get a direct link sent to your cell phone, okay, so you have the podcast app installed, you can also send a text message to 50500, and the word you're going to send is podcast. When you do that, it's going to send you one message back, and that message is going to have a direct link to our podcast. It's going to have a link to our mailing list. It's also going to have a Twitter shout-out link. And so I suggest you click them all. Get connected. And once you hit that Twitter link, it will tweet me, and I'll tweet you back and add you to a special list of listeners of the Wayne's Word podcast. Sound good? All right. Now, next thing I want to talk about is the word of the day. We talk about the word of the day every day, and I use an app on my iPhone, and it's called YouVersion, okay? And it's great. It gives me a word a day, and I can just pull this up. I share it with those of you that are listening, and then I turn around and post it to Facebook, Twitter, and Path. So today's word comes from Proverbs chapter 3, verses 7 and 8. And what's interesting about this is one of my favorite scriptures is Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6. And so it's neat now to see 7 and 8. So I'm going to read this to you real quick, and this is what it reads. Don't ever think that you are wise enough, but respect the Lord and stay away from evil. This will make you healthy, and you will feel strong. Let me say that again. Proverbs chapter 3, verses 7 and 8. Don't ever think that you are wise enough, but respect the Lord and stay away from evil. This will make you healthy, and you will feel strong. Wow, what an interesting scripture for today. I think about, I just was at a tattoo parlor. Oh, I wasn't getting a tattoo, but I'm looking to do some social media work for a local tattoo parlor. And I was in the one guy's, his apartment is right next to the shop, which is cool. And he was showing it to me. He just got a new little kitty cat. I was playing with the cat. And he had these big tubs of protein up on the fridge. He's really into exercising and everything and, taking supplements. And, you read this scripture, and it's interesting because it doesn't say, work out, put the right supplements in, eat a healthy balance of fruits and vegetables, proteins, fats, and carbs. Nope. It doesn't say that. It just says, respect the Lord and stay away from evil. This will make you healthy and you will feel strong. Interesting. You ever think about, there's some people out there that I've known or that I know, they're in their latter years, maybe in their 60s or 50s even, and maybe even 40s. And they've been living a hard life, partying, not respecting the Lord, not staying away from evil. And you can tell, right? I mean, you can look, you can see the wrinkles in their face. You could see that they just look worn down. I mean, this is just an interesting verse to me because it's so true. So don't ever think that you are wise enough, but respect the Lord and stay away from evil. This will make you healthy and you will feel strong. I don't know about you, but I want to be healthy and I want to be strong. Amen? All right. So listen, let's go into the Whiners and Whiners book that we've been reading together. And I like today's chapter. Yeah, it's actually something that reminds me again of my friend Gary Cuda that I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast. And I'm going to mention him again, actually, probably at the end of this. So number 4 of the top 10 distinctions between winners and whiners by Keith Cameron Smith. The 4th distinction is winners build friendships and whiners destroy friendships. So are you ready? All right, let's get started. Friendships are one of the most valuable and precious things that we can possess in this life. What does it mean to be a friend? It means to look out for the best interest of another human being. Of course, problems in friendships occur when friends have different opinions of what those best interests are. True friends will do whatever they can to work through their differences. Have you ever had a friend become angry with you because you didn't agree with him? Have you ever gotten angry at a friend because of a misunderstanding? People have different perceptions and opinions, and as a result, we have misunderstandings. Winners understand this and choose to work through their differences instead of becoming angry about them. A classic example is when a husband and wife are talking and the husband is not hearing what his wife is really saying, or vice versa. Later, one will say to the other, "I asked you to do this," and the other will say, "No, you didn't." Within moments, the situation deteriorates into anger. We do not always hear what other people are trying to communicate to us. True friends respect each other and listen with their hearts. Winners are able to build deep and meaningful friendships because they acknowledge that their friends have perceptions and opinions. A perception is the way you see or understand something. An opinion is a belief you have based on your past results. If you want to build more friendships, then acknowledge that perceptions and opinions are not absolute truths. Just because we see things differently doesn't mean that we are right, even if our ego demands it. Winners don't immediately assume they are right. Winners practice looking at situations from different perspectives. Whiners, on the other hand, always assume that their way is the only way. Ego has destroyed millions of friendships. It is impossible to build long-lasting friendships without humility. Humility is the ability to learn and grow. Humility is the willingness to let someone be as they are and accept them that way. It is the power to love people unconditionally. Humility is a willingness to forgive. All long-lasting friendships are built on humility and forgiveness. And while we will always have misunderstandings in our friendships, winners know this and choose to build stronger friendships when they occur. Humility is the secret to friendships, and it is the key to becoming a winner. We've all had moments when we thought we were right, but later, upon reflection or more information, we acknowledged we were wrong. Our perceptions and opinions are limited. The more you hold on to your way of seeing and believing, the more difficult it will be to build friendships. When we try to demand that someone else change his perception and see things as we do, we have stopped being a friend and started becoming arrogant. Arrogance is an unwillingness to even consider another perspective, and whiners destroy friendships because of it. Ego is rooted in arrogance, and when whiners allow their egos to run their lives, it ruins their lives too. Winners know when to be dependent, independent, and interdependent. There are times when things are beyond our control, and we must depend on others, and there are times when our friends need to lean on us. Then there are times when we need to stand on our own 2 feet. Wisdom is knowing exactly when to be dependent, independent, and interdependent. There are always times when we need others and they need us. Learning when to be interdependent is a key to being a winner. Interdependency is what friendship is all about. It is where miracles can occur. Being interdependent allows the wisdom and knowledge of both people to flow freely, allowing great things to happen. Whiners don't know much about being independent. They are usually dependent victims or independently arrogant. Being interdependent is where love, humility, and forgiveness flow. It is an understanding that I have something to contribute, and so do you. It is balance between needing each other and wanting each other. Interdependence focuses on what is best for everyone. Whiners want things on their terms. Winners want what is best for all. Winners are other people-minded and inclusive. Whiners are selfish and exclusive. Look closer at the word friendship. It is made of 2 words, friend and ship. When 2 or more people get in a ship going to the same direction, their path is one of unity and peace. When 2 or more people want to go in different directions, there is only division and stress. A key to building friendships is to find the things you agree on. Accept the fact that there are things that you are not going to agree on, but focus on what you do agree on. That focus leads to smooth sailing away from the storms of disagreement that destroy friendships. Remember, winners build friendships, but whiners destroy them. Whoa, what a great chapter. Wow. That's pretty deep. There's a lot of good stuff in there. And I can think of 2 examples in my life of winners and whiners in friendships. And as I mentioned Gary before, said he's a definite winner. Definitely. And we've become good friends over the past year, I would say. And you can definitely tell there's an interdependency between us. And you'll know that. You'll know if there's humility and respect in these things between you and a certain friend. You know, I have another friend, or he's more of an acquaintance now, that I tried a friendship with, but the arrogancy and the ego just got in the way and on his part. I mean, it was just to the point where no matter what I did to try to make the relationship better or to improve it or to try to cultivate it, I just couldn't seem to get any good ground. And you'll know that. You'll have these people in your life that, you know, they're very critical. There's no humility, no respect. They look for ways to discredit you or ways to tear you down, and no matter what you try to do, they're just not getting it. You know, it doesn't mean they're a bad person. You know, they're just, you know, dealing with some things like we all do. But, you know, I've seen both sides of that. And I think the hard part is when you realize that you're in a friendship with a whiner. It's a hard decision to make, to cut off that friendship tie. And I tell you what, certain times in our lives, I think we have to do a friendship inventory. We have to look at the people that we're friends with and what those relationships are cultivating. Because if they're not cultivating a winning atmosphere, a winner atmosphere, and it's a whiner atmosphere, what's it doing? It's ultimately tearing you down. It's not giving you a healthy relationship to be able to share in and to be able to rejoice in. So, you know, whether it's proximity, you've lived your next door neighbors, or you work together, or whether it's family, whatever it is, maybe someone that you're in business with. You have to do that. You have to do that inventory and find out who you need to cut and who you need to focus on improving or strengthening that friendship, because they're few and far between friends with winners, in my opinion. And I have a few other, I should say, friends that are winners. And I'm really glad to say that, and I'm happy to say that. And I know that it hasn't always been that way. As a matter of fact, I had been praying for quite some time to have a friend that I truly could connect with, share with, and have a winning relationship with near to home. Okay, because some of my friends live out of state. They're not in my backyard, so we get to see each other as often as we can face to face, but most of the time it's over the phone, FaceTime, or Skype chat or whatnot. And you know what? I had been praying for a long time, and I tell you what, Gary, if you're listening, you're an answer to prayer. God sent you as one of my friends, and actually also Anthony, another friend of mine, and Jesse, another friend of mine. Those are just a couple of three. I don't want to get into naming names, but there was a while there where I just didn't feel like, I had many friends. I was listening to the Glenn Beck podcast yesterday. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And at one time during his episode, he said, he didn't even know how many friends he had on Facebook or likes on his fan page. And someone came up to him and had their iPhone on. I said, well, here, Glenn, you got 1.8 million friends. He said, no, I don't have 1.8 million friends. As a matter of fact, he said, I have 0 friends on Facebook. He said the only friends, he only had a couple friends. One of them was sitting in the studio with him, and then I forget what other one he might have said. But, you think about that, because every day I get not every day, but very frequently, I get a friend request from somebody. And I accept most of them, and some, until I get to know them better. But I have like 4,000 friends on Facebook. But he's right. I don't have 4,000 friends, But I believe that if we can learn, and I'm going off on a little rant right here, but I believe if we can learn how to harness these, I call them impossible connections online, right? I don't know about you. When I was growing up, I'll never forget my 13th birthday party. We went to TGI Fridays, and every waitress there gave me a balloon. By the time I was done, I had like 13 balloons or something. When I left and went home with them all, I wrote a little letter, and I tied it to the balloons, and I let it go. And some girl around my same age found it in Indiana. I think it was, or Michigan, actually, a neighboring state. And we became pen pals for a little while. I mean, that was the extent of connecting with someone new, right? There was no way to just meet random people. There was no internet. There was no Facebook, social media, podcasts, none of that stuff. So now here we are, online, all of us getting to reach out and try to connect. And we're doing it at such a fast-paced rate, right? Between Twitter, Facebook, all these, I'm getting followers. Oh, there's no way to even manage it all, to keep up with it. But my prayer and my focus is that I do cultivate a few good relationships from all this. I really hope to cultivate some good relationships online, and even possibly take them offline and cultivate them into something more. Because you know what? We would have never been able to connect if it wasn't for this internet, if it wasn't for this podcast. I think about all the people that might listen to this today. We're nearing almost 6,000 plays now. We're halfway there, like 5,500 or something like that. And I think about all the people that are listening to this right now. Are we friends? I don't know. And it's okay, I guess, if we're not. I'm hopefully giving you something that motivates you, inspires you, and transforms you. What I want you to know is that I am looking to make connections with some friends. Reach out to me. I'm approachable. Tweet me at Wayne Ulery. Send me a Facebook message. I I will respond. I will connect. And I'm looking to connect with people that are interested in motivation, inspiration, and transformation. Interested in becoming more, doing more, being more, loving more, giving more. That's what I'm interested in. Winners, not whiners. I don't have time for whiners. Just winners. So reach out. I promise I'll reach back to you. So listen, it's Friday. I'm going to end this broadcast. It went a little longer than it normally does. But it's the weekend. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed weekend. An awesome weekend ahead of you. I'll see you back on Monday. I take a break for the weekends. And let me know about that. Let me know if you think doing a broadcast on Saturday or Sunday would be something you'd be interested in. And maybe I will do them on Saturday and Sundays. We'll see. But I'll be back on Monday. And what I want to do is say this. It's last closing statement, as inspired by my friend Gary Kuda. I want to ask you this one question. I want to leave you with this one last question. Okay? Are you a winner building relationships, friendships? Or are you a whiner and you tend to destroy friendships? I tend to believe that if you're listening to this podcast, you're a winner. I think by now you would have stopped listening if it were otherwise. But think about then the people that you're friends with. Are they tearing you down? Are they taking you away from where you are wanting to go and be and become in this life? Or are they lifting you up? Are they helping you? Are they asking for ways to help you? I'll give you an example. I was out to dinner with my friend Gary. This is like your show, Gary. I was out at dinner with my friend Gary the other night, and we had two people approach our table. One was our server, or a server, and another was some marketing lady. And he really pumped me up to them, or he really edified me to them about being a social media master or social media, I forget what wizard or whatever he said. And he helped me get 2 contacts for social media. And that's a true friend. I mean, he saw an opportunity to edify me and to help me further along my path, further along my passion. That's a friend. That's a true friend. That's a winning friend. Do you have friends like that? Do you have friends that, are looking for ways to help you? I'll tell you one way I was a winning friend today. This new tattoo parlor. I was at AutoZone returning some parts for my car, and I saw a lady with a tattoo to my left, and I said, "Hey, nice tattoo. Did you know there's a new place in town?" She said, No, I didn't, and I'm not even really from here. Well, then all of a sudden this girl from the other part of the store come running over. Where's their new place? I go, "It's just down the street from here. They're running specials because they just opened. You can get one pretty cheap. You got to go check them out. Gentleman's Tattoo. Tell them Wayne sent you. They'll give you the Wayne special," which I don't know what the Wayne special is. But anyhow, I said, "Go get the Wayne special." And then I was getting my car fixed, and the guy fixing my car had 2 tattoos on his arm. I said, "Hey, those are some cool tattoos." And he said, "Well, see that picture on the wall? That's my next one. I'm getting ready to get my next one." I said, "Hey, listen, I'm getting ready to do some work with these 2 guys, great guys. They have a tattoo parlor just opened up down the street." He said, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, just in the past 2 months." He said, "Wow, I bet you the prices are pretty low right now." I said, "Oh yeah, they're trying to get business." He goes, "I'm gonna have to check them out." That's a winning friend, and I'm just getting to know these guys. Okay, that's what you're looking for, guys. Those type of winning friendships. So ask yourself, do a inventory of your friends. Are they building relationships, or are they destroying them? This has been Wayne's Word with Wayne Ulery. Have a great weekend.